Hey, everybody, it's Ron Bass with another edition of Soar High Personal Development, your source for inspiration. Today, joining me is David Davin
Hello.
Hunley with an I, not David Davin Hunley with an I, excuse me, Brent Atterbury, and Mike Rose, our martial artist extraordinaire. Well, today we're going to talk about martial arts and fitness and how that should affect our lives on a daily basis. So Mike's going to start it off a little bit since he is a purple belt in the martial art of Jiu-Jitsu. What do you have to say?
I would say the first thing I'm going to say is that, there's really no way to put it without somebody being opinionated. So I'm going to put it my perspective, my way. So I do want to say that.
Opinionated? Come on.
Well, I would say for me,
Not you.
I think everybody should be opinionated. But if we're talking about martial art in general, I would definitely say somebody else listens. They'll be like, well, I would say this or I would do that. They would say or do this, but this is what makes it special to me. So if we're talking about martial art, that's why it's considered art. That's why I consider it like it's so fascinating to me as it is an art. I love art. I love music. Even when I was younger, I loved drawing.
Drawing? Your son loves to draw.
Yeah, he does.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
But that's the first thing I wanted to say was this is my way of putting it in my perspective, how I view the martial art or just jiu-jitsu or fitness, whatever you want to call it. But you'll get some people will be opinionated. They'll be like, "Well, he should have said it this way." You know what I mean?
Well, it's good to be unique, and you
Yes.
are unique. It's good to be independent. Everybody should be unique and independent, and not worry about what other people have to say about how they are.
Absolutely. And
Be proud of yourself. Be
well,
proud
yeah,
of who
yeah,
you
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I wanted to say that before we went into neck deep into it. Yes.
I get you.
Brent had a question last week or wanted to know more about it. What was it again?
I just wanted to know how martial arts, what you do, how it applies to what we're doing here. We talk about adversity, we talk about goal setting, we talk about all these things,
Time management.
and how that might dive into what you do on the martial arts side.
Yeah, I would say the majority of everything, especially like say like it does tie into here because I do a lot of the graphic artwork and the YouTube videos and stuff. So anything with the art or visual, I do. But
You do.
Do
that was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
But I would say if anything, it'd be timing and angles. Everything is really about timing and angles, and time management is key. But everything's about timing and angles. No matter where you look at in life, everything's about the angle really, and then timing. Because you ever heard like you're at the wrong place, wrong time, or the right place, wrong time. However you want to say, you can mix it up. But that's strictly if when you like learn it, like at my level, I understand it. The only thing separating me and a black belt is experience. He just has more experience. I understand it now, and it's a connection to me where I could see why it takes years for people to grasp the idea of jiu-jitsu. They're just doing it, and I'm living it. I am jiu-jitsu. I understand it. I understand the way, the art, the form of it, the timing, the angles. Now, am I perfect? No. I still have things I need to work on, but so does a black belt probably too. You know what I mean? That's why you always say like you want to keep on going till when you do get a black belt, you want to go back to a white belt. That's why you repeat the steps or the process, even getting to that high level. You know what I mean? Think about millionaires too. They're still successful today because they have the same formula that they have to go to, and if they're open minded, they'll be more successful.
So what are people going to get out of you coaching them and experiencing this jujitsu? I mean, what do they walk away with?
I think if me as a bonus, I would say the experience is really about your coach. You want your coach, you want that guy. You know what I mean? But you can really get it anywhere. That's why I always say like no matter where you go, as long as you put in your time, it's the same everywhere.
What are the benefits for the student?
The benefits for the student, if you're talking about just me, or we're talking about just
The
in
student,
general,
you know, the
just
stu-
in general
you,
as like just jiu-jitsu?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
benefits, the
I would
benefits
I
of
would
being
s-
a student of
A-
jujitsu.
Absolutely. I would say there's a lot of benefits. You get your ego checked. You know what I mean? Put you down a couple notches, or you
Well,
self-reflect.
let's back up. But when you say that, you mean people come in with a
I think
highfalutin attitude,
I
maybe?
think 90% of people do, and you get that rare 10% that really want to learn. They'll drop everything on a dime. They'll spend the money, in the market we're in. That since you just got off the topic of that, in the market we're in, like there's not a lot of money around here, but at the same time I'm not charging arm and leg. I do want to share the mats with people. I want to share the knowledge with people. I think that's very key, very key. I think some coaches miss that, is sharing jujitsu. And I would like to thank Eric Stevens for that. I won't take all the credit, but with him giving me some advice, I don't take all of his advice. There's some qualities. No offense to him, but if you're speaking for real, there's some qualities that I love about the way he does jiu-jitsu and some that I just don't. But like I said, I have my own influences with whether it's my wrestling coaches or my past coaches that I've had. I've played football, I've wrestled, and now I've done jiu-jitsu. I did try basketball, didn't like it. Tried baseball, didn't like it. Tried soccer, didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I'm a full contact type of dude. And I don't know, I feel something like just when you like get that full contact, nothing just takes that away. Nothing.
Nothing is better than that.
Well, yeah, nothing really. And
It's a
it's just to
thrill.
break it is to a certain degree. But it does put a lot of toll on your body. What was your other question?
So they get their ego checked.
I would say the first one would have to be the ego check.
Okay.
Easily.
And then
Now, I'm not judging,
What
but
are some
yeah.
other things that they get out of it?
Well, the first couple days and the first weeks, that's the main thing. It's the main thing you really got to focus on, is watching how they act towards people and towards you. You know what I mean? Which they're usually good towards me, but I go watch them around other people, like in my gym that have been around for a while or like brand new too, and they treat them kind of differently. It's a weird, status. That's why like I love this type of deal, because you get to pay your rent, pay your dues. Don't matter what you own, what you do, where you came from. Everybody starts with the same conveyor belt. It's right there off the cuff, right there. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, rich, poor, broke, whatever.
Handsome, ugly,
Doesn't matter.
big, little, fit, not fit.
Does not matter.
So does it build confidence?
It will over time, but I would say that confidence wouldn't come to like probably a year to 2 years, and after you meet that point, if we're keeping long story short, by the time you reach blue belt, you should be pretty confident. Before then, I don't know. I can't feel the same, as in like not that I'm far ahead of the curve, but I got checked too when I first started. There's some things I couldn't believe because I have my wrestling background, that I couldn't believe another guy maybe 40 pounds less than me was just moving me around like that.
So do people, after they do this for 6 months and they're still there, they haven't quit, they haven't left, do they come out with more energy? Do they come out healthier?
Yeah. Yes, they do. There's a certain way I call it too, like say like psychologically or even physically, and then we got like the mentality, the mental part. But I would say physically, oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? There's guys that are doing jitsu brand new in my gym that are losing like 20 pounds almost. They've only been training for like 2 months. You know what I mean? So, or 10 pounds training for like a month. And they're eating healthier. They're around successful people. They're around winners. They're around people that grind. If you're around that association long enough, you will.
So doing the jujitsu, you talk about possibly eating better to
Yeah,
be healthier.
and then
Okay.
competition, and I would say it's overall performance. I would say it's very key, but I don't know how to explain it, but it's like reading off rules every day. They almost compare it like to a church. They would say it's almost like being blessed. You go in there, you go to church, you get blessed, and you walk away. You're like, wow, I feel better. But there's a toll to pay, because as in like not a bad toll, but you do it long enough, it does hurt after a while. But you just get used to it. But it's not, I always tell people, hey, it's gonna be an easy day today, and it's pretty rough. That's what I always say. Or if they never tried it, but we'll have a good day. And then it's we're working out, we're working.
What do you see out of students that do this for a while? What do you see, um, any advantages or benefits to them in their everyday life after doing this for a
Plenty.
while?
I would say the main thing is if they could understand the mentality, the mental. It depends too, because I get psychological with it. I don't like being like that, but it just depends. Like if it's like a confrontational deal, but if not, I would say the most thing that I could really value from is their problem solving skills. In facing that say you got a high tense situation, your adrenaline's pumping, and you just can't think. There's been plenty of times since I've done jiu-jitsu where it's really helped me, where I'm just calm, I'm cool. Something high tense happens, or like say like in the car, sometimes something will happen. My old lady may freak out, but I just don't really budge. You know what I mean? It takes a lot for me to just like freak out. I would, you know what I mean? Like I could think of many ways, but in everyday life, I just don't. I'm just chill.
Problem solving's huge.
Huge, yeah, but
Huge.
I would say it would take more than just 2 years to really figure that out. Plus, I have experience. A lot of people don't understand that too, as in like say like competing. Like I have competed, but they don't understand my prior experience too. I've been doing it my whole life almost. You know what I mean? Over half. If we're talking about sports in general, or just physical, I've been very physical my whole life, and some people just see you for what you are today. That's where we're going back to the belt. Remember how I was telling you, like, their ego needs to be checked, but they're looking at this white belt like they're nothing. They are something. They're the most important belt, but also the most dangerous belt. You'd be like, Mike, why the most dangerous belt? They don't know what they're doing. The black belt, you would figure he'd be the most dangerous. He is, but he knows how to treat a human right. Anybody that stays over 2 years, 4 years, they're a really good person. They're a really good person, and they have really good qualities. And I realized that over the time where I see people like stay, and I'm like, they're a good person. Not because of like jujitsu, because they stay because of the money. No, because it takes a lot out of your daily.
Do you think they walk away, the old saying, "Hard work pays off." I mean, you have to work hard in jujitsu, right?
Absolutely.
Well, if it was easy,
Everybody
Yeah,
would be doing it
right.
for
So
sure.
would that also might spill over into their regular everyday life, maybe? Hard
Um,
work. I mean, they're working hard on their
yeah,
marriage. They're working
yeah,
hard on
yeah. You'll
their
start taking
job.
accountability. You start taking accountability, which you should probably write that down right there. Accountability.
taking ownership of who you are.
Yeah, you'll do a lot of self-reflecting. You will, and I did for a long time, and still to this day, I still do, because I check my own bullshit. I'm not perfect, there's a lot of people that have white lies, and that's cool to have some white lies, but don't be lying like who you really are, and I don't. But everybody has their little white lies, and I get that in a sense. So I'm not saying everybody's perfect,
Except for Davin.
except for Davin.
Of course.
Go ahead.
No, and I mean, Ron, you're coached by Mike, right?
Yes, Mike is
Okay.
my coach.
But it goes back and forth though. He mentors me in ways that I couldn't even thank
Right.
him for. So
But on the jujitsu side, I mean,
absolutely, I say I'm
what
very helpful for him.
I mean, what have you gotten out of jujitsu?
Well,
Ron?
all the things that he's said. It's physical fitness. It's confidence building. It's learning to be a better problem solver. It's having mental toughness. He's right about staying cool, calm, and collected, and he's right. Like in my life, other than in martial arts, if something goes haywire, I don't ever freak out anymore. You just learn to, you can figure it out, and there's no reason to freak out and be excited. Just stay calm and collected.
You're not, yeah.
That's how we fight every night.
Yeah.
You stay calm and collected, and you learn technique, you have knowledge, and that gives you confidence, and confidence replaces fear and anxiety, and it just works that way. And Mike's right. You have to, I don't care what martial art it is, you have to stick with it. You can't just go in and hang out for a few months and think you're going to be a Billy Badass. It doesn't work like that. It becomes part of your life, and it should be. Fitness as well. I mean, Mike's a fitness guy too. He goes to the gym every day as well as I do, and it ties together.
Yeah. And I wasn't meaning to name drop anybody, but I know Eric's a part of what we do. So,
Yes.
I'm sure sure one day he'll get to say his view on martial arts.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast before, and he'll be here
That's the
again.
only reason I name dropped him. So I'm just
Yeah,
letting you know.
sure.
But no, he was my coach for
He
a
was
long
my
time.
coach for a long time
And
as well.
he still is. I will still never turn my cheek over that. But
No.
I'm on a new path, and
Well, you've got your own gym now, so it's a whole different
absolutely,
ballgame.
absolutely. There's something I wanted to say that
Soar High Soar High Jiu-Jitsu,
Soar High Real Estate,
Soar High Real Estate, Soar High Entertainment, Soar High Records. Mike's creating a dynasty here.
Well, we're all in this together.
All in this together,
and,
yeah. It's a team
We're
effort.
all in this together.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. That's good.
Had to bring some High School Musical into it.
Yeah.
That's
You're
it.
good.
By the way, Davin's our producer for the podcast and our music business as well.
I'm very blessed to have Davin.
And he's a beat maker.
Yeah, very blessed. He's put up with
beat making.
He's put up a lot of my BS lately.
Yeah,
Oh
but-
my God.
But it's good. It's good though. He'll be like a veteran later. You know
Let's
what I mean?
plug Mike's.
He'll be well seasoned.
The Real Raw O's on the YouTube channel, and his album's coming out, The One, sometime in the next 30, 60, 90 days. So look for that.
Yeah.
SoarHighRecords.com is our website.
Yeah. And Brent, I know you have some more questions. Do you have anything else? You have one more? A couple more?
I mean, I just wanted to, bring up, Davin and I don't do martial arts, but
Well, shame on you.
I know,
Whatever.
Not like there's any
Whatever.
peer pressure here,
I think,
but
ahead.
I don't know about Davin, but I haven't always had a regimented exercise program, but I do now.
Yes.
Part of it comes from when you get a little older, things
gonna
don't
say, getting
feel the
old.
same way they did before.
Okay.
So the exercise becomes a necessity. And once you do it, though, you feel better. And I have a little thing I do, 5 days a week in the morning, and
It's better than
and
nothing.
yeah, it's what I do, and it's important to me, and it requires discipline. It'd be easier to sleep in.
Yes.
I'm up at 6 or 6:30, and I go about an hour and a half, and every 5 days a week, and it makes a huge difference.
It's
in my energy level, in my confidence. My back doesn't hurt because I sit a lot. So
Well,
yeah.
back to the martial arts side. For me, it was the idea that I was losing in street fights, because being in business, people get mad. You fire them, they come at you. I've had fights in our office, and I said, I have to learn how to handle myself. So that's why I originally took martial arts, and it's a big part of jiu-jitsu, but there's also the sports side of it as well. So that's another aspect of jiu-jitsu is self-defense.
Yes.
Learning how to handle yourself when somebody comes at you in a way that's not friendly.
Most likely, by the time, like when you're doing all this, you're not going to face those same problems because you're not putting yourself in those type of situations. I think martial arts, everybody should be doing it.
Yeah, it should be mandatory.
And I don't know how to explain this in a way. We need a podcast one of these days, like an after dark session or something, because there's certain things I would like to say, especially with jiu-jitsu and in comparison with like other things in my life that I've done. But I would say jiu-jitsu, it's the peak. It's the peak of like where your mind could go. Really, I think everybody should do it, but they always find that void, of that little voice in their head that just tells them, "No, you're good. You're a badass." When they're really not a badass.
They're not at all, are they?
No.
Splurge.
They think they are.
They think, yeah, they do.
Podcast After Dark.
Yeah, we should, but they think that, but they're not. I always say, watch the quiet ones, watch the ones. Now, like when me and you talk, we talk because we're homeboys. When me and him talk, we talk. But anybody, if I'm out somewhere, I'm introverted. I'm reserved. I'm chilling. If somebody wants to come up to me, we could talk. But if not, that's cool. But I'm not causing no scenes. You know what I mean? What are you gonna say?
Ronnie.
Nothing. It's just interesting, to work with you and train with you. His classes are really unique. I've trained with a lot of other coaches in my career, and Mike is very unique how he operates. And you go to his class, you pay the rent, but I promise you, when you leave, you feel so good about yourself because you've really put in the work. And to be able to do that and get through it is a great sense of accomplishment. And I've said it a lot on the podcast, accomplishment's the drug. If you can accomplish anything in your life, particularly if it's difficult, you're always going to feel better about yourself. And people sit around depressed and unhappy, just set some goals and work towards those goals. And even if you don't reach them, you're going to feel better for trying versus not even giving it a shot. Back to martial arts, same idea.
Yeah.
Not giving up, staying with it, listening to your coach, coming in and train, doing seminars, going to tournaments, competing, facing your fears.
Yep.
All of that matters.
I definitely agree. Davin, do you have anything at all?
I just wanted to hear about one of these fights, Ronnie.
Well, there's been some pretty bloody fights in our office over the last. I've been in this building almost 40 years, 35 years.
Give me just one.
Without naming names.
Without naming names, well, I came out of my office one night and somebody was waiting for me in the hallway and Sunday punched me. What do they call it? Sunday, where they come from the blind. Sucker punched me. And,
same thing.
Yeah, and blood, when I had a white coat on, blood all over my coat. The guy had brass knuckles, and then he pulled a gun on me. And it's like, I didn't know what to do. I'd never had any formal training. And this guy was, demanding this and demanding that. And that's just one example. And so finally I said, I got to figure out a way to know how to have the confidence to be able to stand up to somebody trying to hurt me. And of course, after taking jiu-jitsu for a few years, I have that confidence now.
Now we wish somebody would come in here. Ronald, whoop them up.
Well, I
Same
don't think it's like you don't ever want a confrontation.
No,
That's
no,
the thing.
no. I'm just.
But I mean,
saying.
you learn that in jiu-jitsu.
You don't.
You learn to talk it down.
Yep.
Right.
If you
Every
can.
single time, if you can.
And if they put their hands on you,
they make
and
their bed.
then it's
It's a wrap.
then
They
it's-
make their
then
bed.
It's all over.
That's very true. That some people. That's what I'm saying. That's what difference.
We don't want to fight.
That's the difference between you and a white belt or you and a blue belt. Like that. Like even when some people just get their blue belt and leave. Most people that get a blue belt at that point leave and they don't come back. That's why they call it the blue belt blues.
Blue belt blues.
And it's not no made up thing because after that point of time, you basically know and understand what jiu-jitsu is, and you can defend yourself on the street. By after that, it's all bonus. You literally have to be insane and some sort of kind of crazy to keep on going.
Insane in the brain.
And think about this too: a padded room filled with a bunch of dudes. It's almost like
Sweating.
it's almost like an insane asylum. No, we could sweat, we could do whatever. You bleed, you sweat, bleed, whatever. It's like an insane asylum in there. You've been doing it this long. You gotta be a little fucking crazy. Trust me.
That's a good point.
Like there's been some dark times, there's good times, and
by the way, to put it in
whatever.
perspective, a black belt in jiu-jitsu takes a minimum of, generally the average is 10 to 15 years. As an example, in karate, it's a couple of just 2 to 3 years. So it shows you the difference of what it takes to be accomplished in jiu-jitsu versus other martial arts. It's a whole different animal. Because it's so much more complicated, but it's so much more effective.
I know you guys like the karate jokes, so it may take 10 or
Right.
15 years for a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but it's 10 or 15 minutes in karate.
right there you go. Well, and I think
And for the karate guys out there, don't hate us. I mean, we respect you guys as well. I mean,
no, I respect.
but it's a
every
different
martial art.
gig.
It is. I respect every martial art.
yes.
But if we're talking physical hand-to-hand combat, I just think it's more efficient with jiu-jitsu.
And by the way, at Mike's gym, he teaches wrestling, takedowns, wrestling in general. He also teaches judo takedowns,
Little
and of
bit.
course grappling.
I'm more wrestling style.
more
I'm a
wrestling
wrestler in a
style,
gi.
yeah. Wrestler and a gi, yeah.
That's the old saying right there.
But yeah, if you're ever in Springfield, Missouri, check us out at Soar High Jiu-Jitsu.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's kind of recap a little bit today. I want to bring it back.
There was
full
way more.
circle.
There was way more needs
Well,
to be said.
there's always going to be more, and every time we do a podcast, there's going to be repetition. We're going to be always talking about some of the same things anyway, because people need to hear the same thing over and over and over again in order to get it. That's just like you said the other day, the science of repetition in marketing. If people hear the same thing over and over and over again, it becomes, how'd you put it? Reality. It becomes, becomes
Perception
truth.
becomes reality.
Perception
Yeah,
is
yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
There you go. So Mike was talking a lot about how martial arts affects people in their daily lives and confidence. Obviously, good fitness. Good fitness means better health, mental toughness, developing skills of being patient, problem-solving skills. So all this ties together: fitness, jiu-jitsu, martial arts, being around the right kind of people every day. We talk about the 2 laws of psychology. You become who you surround yourself with, meaning you need good mentoring, good people in your life. You become what you think about, reading good materials, positive thoughts. All this adds up to one thing. You're going to be able to go forward in your life in a lot better fashion than otherwise. So we're going to wrap it up for today, you guys, and I appreciate Davin and Brandon and Mike being here with me today. And until next time, have a great day.